Ethan had seen a lot in his life, but nothing quite like this. The planet stretched before him like a painting from another universe. Jagged mountains pierced the lavender sky, and rivers of luminescent blue snaked through valleys. The air shimmered with energy, something humans had never encountered before. He adjusted his helmet and stepped forward, careful not to disturb the strange flora that seemed to hum with life. He had been sent as a human engineer, an observer, tasked with studying the planet's unique energy signatures. His job was simple: understand, record, and report. But as he approached the main research facility, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was stepping into a world far beyond anything Earth had prepared him for. Inside the facility, the architecture was alien, yet strangely elegant. Curved walls glowed softly, pulsing in rhythm with the energy coursing through the planet. Machines hummed with a life of their own, and holographic screens displayed complex symbols Ethan couldn't decipher. Then he saw her, Lyra. She moved with a fluid grace, her figure wrapped in a suit that seemed to flow like liquid light around her body. Her eyes, sharp and intelligent, scanned data streams on a console, completely unaware of Ethan's arrival. She was an alien scientist, reputed across this sector for brilliance, boldness, and unpredictability. Ethan's training told him to be careful, and yet something about her drew him in. Curiosity, perhaps, or the faint spark of recognition that humans sometimes felt when meeting minds as sharp as their own. "I'm here to assist," Ethan said carefully, stepping closer. Lyra's head snapped up, and for a moment, her expression flickered between surprise and amusement. "You're human," she said, almost as if it were a question. "I wasn't expecting humans." "I know, but I'm here to help," Ethan replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "I study energy systems, and I heard your facility could use assistance," she interrupted, a teasing edge in her tone. "Perhaps. Or perhaps you just want to know if I am completely exposed under this suit." Her words were whispered, laced with the strange humor of her species, which often blurred lines between technological function and cultural display. Ethan blinked. He realized immediately that this was not an intimate suggestion, but a reflection of the alien technology. Their bio-armor could mimic exposure or concealment depending on energy flow. He swallowed his surprise and nodded. "I understand. It's fascinating technology. I just want to help fix your energy core." Lyra raised an eyebrow, clearly intrigued. "Very well. Perhaps you are braver than most humans." He followed her deeper into the lab, passing walls that shimmered and panels that seemed to respond to their presence. Then the accident happened. Ethan leaned over a console to examine a malfunctioning energy node. His hand brushed against a touch-sensitive panel, and in an instant, a wave of light swept across Lyra's suit, revealing her bio-armor's hidden settings. For a brief, disorienting second, she appeared completely exposed, not in a sexual way, but as a raw projection of her energy field. Lyra gasped and stepped back, startled. Ethan froze, his instincts screaming. He realized this was purely a technical mishap, not what her words had suggested. I'm sorry," he stammered. "I didn't mean to. It's just the device reacted to my touch." Her sharp eyes softened slightly as she understood. "Ah, so humans are clumsy with alien tech," she said, a hint of humor in her tone. "Perhaps this will be an interesting collaboration." They began working together, Ethan examining the energy core while Lyra guided him. She explained the principles of the bio-armor and how the planet's energy interacted with their technology. Ethan listened carefully, taking notes, asking questions, and occasionally suggesting modifications that surprised her. "You have a human mind," she said at one point, watching him adjust a calibration with minimal tools. "You improvise. Most species rely solely on their tech's power. You think. I have to, Ethan replied. That's how humans survive. We adapt. Lyra studied him for a long moment, her eyes narrowing thoughtfully. Perhaps that is why you are here, not just as a helper, but as something different. Hours passed. The core still hummed with instability, but Ethan's interventions were slowly stabilizing it. The facility lights dimmed and brightened in response to the energy flows, and the walls pulsed like the heartbeat of the planet itself. Ethan felt a strange connection to this place, a sense that human presence mattered more than anyone had predicted. Then the alarms went off. Red lights flashed, echoing through the lab. Lyra's expression hardened. That is not good. Someone is attempting to breach the perimeter. Our energy source is targeted. Ethan felt a jolt of fear, but also adrenaline. Who would... Rival faction, Lyra said sharply. They know the planet's power. If they take it, they will use it as a weapon. Ethan realized the stakes. This was no longer about observation or study. This was about survival, and whether humans could hold their ground against an advanced alien force. Lyra moved swiftly to a console, her fingers dancing over the controls. I cannot do this alone. I need someone who can think outside the parameters. She looked at Ethan, her gaze piercing. I believe that someone is you. He hesitated. The human in him recoiled at the thought of being in danger on an alien planet, facing creatures and technology far beyond Earth's capabilities. But another part, the part that thrived on challenge, on problem-solving, stepped forward. Then I'll help, he said, determination hardening his voice. They worked quickly. Ethan suggested rerouting energy flows to create false signals, confusing the intruders. Lyra adapted her bioarmor to generate decoy holograms, making it appear as though the facility was abandoned. Together, they orchestrated a defense that combined human ingenuity and alien technology. As they implemented the plan, Ethan noticed something unexpected. The planet seemed to respond to their collaboration. The rivers of blue light outside shifted, glowing brighter, as if encouraging their efforts. The energy core pulsed steadily, no longer unstable, resonating with the humans and aliens working side by side. Minutes stretched into tense hours. They moved with precision, predicting enemy movements, adjusting strategies on the fly. Ethan felt a surge of pride. Humans might be small, limited in technology, but they had something the galaxy often underestimated: creativity, courage, and the ability to improvise under pressure. Finally, the alarms ceased. The red lights faded, and the facility returned to its calm, pulsing glow. Ethan exhaled, feeling exhaustion wash over him. Lyra turned to him, her expression unreadable at first. Then a faint smile touched her lips. You are remarkable, she said softly. I underestimated humans. I see now why you were sent here. Ethan nodded, tired but satisfied. I didn't do it alone. You taught me how to see this energy, how to work with it. That made all the difference. She regarded him for a long moment, her gaze lingering. Perhaps humans are capable of more than we imagined. Perhaps you can even understand parts of this planet that no one else can. Ethan looked out at the shimmering landscape. He realized something profound. This world, with its alien intelligence, its strange beauty, its danger and wonder, had tested him. And in rising to that challenge, he felt the quiet pride of humanity, the ability to adapt, to learn, and to face the unknown with courage. As the first light of the alien dawn spilled across the mountains, Lyra turned to him again, her voice almost a whisper. There is more to do. The rivals will return. They will not give up easily. Are you ready for what comes next? Ethan met her gaze. Fear lingered, but determination burned brighter. I'm ready, he said. Whatever comes, we face it together. For the first time, He felt that humans had a place in the vast galaxy, not just as observers, but as capable, clever, and courageous beings. The adventure was only beginning, and for Ethan, the possibilities were endless. The alarms had faded, but the tension lingered. Ethan and Lyra moved through the facility with quiet urgency. The first attack had been repelled, but both of them knew the rival faction would not give up. The energy core of the planet was too valuable, too powerful, and now they had seen the humans' cleverness. That would make them even more determined. Ethan studied the glowing panels along the walls. He had learned a lot in the past hours, how this alien technology responded to thought patterns, how it pulsed with life, almost as if the planet itself had a consciousness. He marveled at it. But he also reminded himself, admiration alone would not protect them. Lyra's eyes were sharp, scanning the sensors. "They will come in larger numbers next time," she said. "We must be ready. Your human intuition will be tested, Ethan. Can you think faster than their machines?" He nodded. "I can try. And I think we can outsmart them if we combine your tech with human strategy." She smirked faintly. "We will see. Humans are clever, yes, but cleverness alone may not save you." The first step was to secure the energy core. Ethan suggested creating layers of decoys, but Lyra added her own twist. "We will not only confuse them," she said, "we will guide them into traps. The planet will help us if we listen." They worked together, setting up holographic duplicates of the facility. Ethan rigged a system of energy conduits that could redirect intruders' paths. Lyra used her bio-armor to create moving decoy projections. Every movement, every decision required precise timing and coordination. Hours passed, like minutes, as they perfected the defense. Ethan felt alive, more aware than he had ever been. Every human instinct he had learned, observation, deduction, improvisation, was tested to its limits. He realized that humans were underestimated, not because they were weak, but because their minds were unpredictable, capable of leaps that rigid logic could not anticipate. Night fell over the alien landscape, and the first signs of the rival faction appeared. Small craft moved like shadows across the mountains, energy signatures pulsing as they approached. Lyra's sensors picked them up immediately. "They come in 3 waves," she said. "If we can repel the first, the second may hesitate. Timing is crucial." Ethan took a deep breath. "Then we give them a reason to hesitate." The first wave of attackers approached the facility. Ethan and Lyra triggered their defenses. Holographic duplicates appeared, flickering and shimmering like ghosts. Energy barriers rose unpredictably, forcing the intruders to split their forces. Ethan had designed the conduits to emit pulses that mimicked the core's activity, drawing the enemy in specific directions. The alien attackers were advanced, but they had never encountered a human mind in this situation. Every move they made was countered, every strategy anticipated. Ethan and Lyra moved with a rhythm, reading each other without words. Human creativity met alien technology, and for the first time, it seemed like a match made in the stars. One of the intruders breached the outer perimeter, cutting through the holographic defenses with a pulse weapon. Ethan's quick thinking saved them. He activated a secondary conduit, redirecting the intruder into a chamber lined with containment fields. The energy discharged harmlessly, but the intruder was trapped. Lyra watched with admiration. "You are incredible," she said quietly. "No one expected a human to move this fast, to think this way." Ethan smiled briefly, but there was no time to rest. The second wave was approaching, larger and faster than the first. Lyra adjusted her bio-armor, shifting its projections to create illusions of multiple defenders. She whispered commands, and Ethan followed, triggering energy traps, redirecting pathways, and using the facility's own systems as weapons without harming the core. The second wave faltered. Confused by the decoys and constantly redirected, they began to retreat. Ethan seized the moment. Using a combination of rapid calculations and instinctive moves, he created a feedback loop in their energy systems. Their ships were forced to hover erratically, unable to land safely. Within minutes, the second wave had been neutralized. Lyra's eyes sparkled. "You've done it. You've turned the tide." But the third wave was the most dangerous. It was led by a high-ranking officer of the rival faction, a tactician known across the galaxy for ruthless efficiency. Ethan knew they could not rely on simple traps anymore. They needed direct confrontation, but the humans' advantage remained: unpredictability. Ethan and Lyra prepared. They modified their energy weapons to work with human ingenuity. They set up positions that the intruders would not expect: hidden paths, energy shields that could collapse at precise moments, and holographic distractions that mimicked their movements. When the third wave arrived, Ethan's heart pounded, but he moved with clarity. Every decision was deliberate, every action calculated, and every improvisation worked to perfection. The intruders could not anticipate the strange human logic behind their defenses. One by one, the enemy ships were disarmed, their movements trapped by energy fields and misdirection. Then the leader arrived on the ground, wielding alien weaponry. Ethan and Lyra faced him together. Lyra's projections moved like shadows around him, confusing his attacks. Ethan analyzed the battlefield, predicting his moves. Using a combination of human reflexes and alien technology, he created a trap that forced the leader to surrender without a single life lost. Lyra looked at him, astonished. You are more than I imagined. Humans can do this?" Ethan shook his head, catching his breath. "Humans can adapt. We survive by thinking, by trying things others would not even consider. That's how we win." The enemy forces, seeing their leader defeated, retreated. Silence fell over the facility. The energy core pulsed steadily, stable and safe. Ethan and Lyra looked at each other, both exhausted but exhilarated. They had faced a challenge that would have crushed most species, and they had succeeded. Lyra stepped closer. "You have proven yourself human, not only clever but brave. You have earned respect, not just from me, but from this planet itself." Ethan felt a warmth he could not describe. "I didn't do it alone. We worked together. And the planet, it helped us. I think it recognized that we were trying to protect it, not exploit it." Lyra smiled, a rare softness in her expression. "Perhaps humans are the allies we did not expect, but the galaxy needs." Ethan looked out at the alien sky, at the rivers of glowing light and mountains that seemed to touch the stars. He realized that humans had a place in this vast galaxy, not just as observers or technicians, but as beings capable of creativity, courage, and heroism. "Do you think this is over?" he asked, though he suspected the answer. Lyra shook her head. "Not entirely. The rivals may return and other challenges await. But you have shown that humans can rise to them. That is enough for now." They walked through the facility together, the hum of the energy core beneath their feet a constant reminder of what they had protected. Ethan felt a deep sense of pride, not arrogance, but the quiet satisfaction of having faced the impossible and prevailed. "Will you stay?" Lyra asked suddenly, her tone serious. "Humans are rare here. Your presence, it has made a difference. Perhaps it can make more." Ethan paused. The thought of staying on this alien world, continuing to work alongside Lyra, learning from the planet and applying human ingenuity in ways no one had imagined, it was tempting. "I think, yes, there is much to learn, and much to protect." Lyra's eyes softened, and she gave a small nod. "Then you are welcome. The planet recognizes your courage, Ethan. And so do I." As dawn broke over the alien landscape, bathing the mountains in violet and gold, Ethan understood something profound. Humans were small, fragile, and limited in many ways, but their minds were their greatest weapon. They could adapt, improvise, and overcome challenges that seemed insurmountable. In that moment, he felt the quiet truth of humanity's place in the universe: clever, courageous, and capable of achieving what others could not even imagine. The galaxy was vast, and danger would come again, but humans were ready. And for Ethan, standing beside Lyra in the glow of the alien dawn, he realized that he was exactly where he was meant to be, proving in the most extraordinary way that humans could face the unknown and triumph. The adventure was far from over, but for the first time, he felt the certainty that humans could rise to any challenge, no matter how alien, how dangerous, or how impossible it seemed. And the galaxy would remember.